Greetings, everybody. Welcome to the Eyes on Avs podcast, part of the EPS podcast family of podcasts by the fans, for the fans, diehards only. Look who's back. We've got
What's
Eric.
up, guys? Long
What's
time
up?
no see.
Yeah. What you been doing? I don't know, growing your family, having a baby, something like that?
Yeah, just getting really good at changing diapers, getting really good at surviving on a little bit less sleep, all the fun stuff. We had
Yep.
a little girl. Her name's Florence. Um, she was actually born. This is a tough topic. She was actually born the day that Vegas swept the Avs. So we were having a lot of discussion. I was right out of the womb having to explain Heartbreak and just the difficulties of being an NHL fan and telling her that the NHL playoffs are the hardest playoffs to win. So just really trying to set the tone and explain those things right away. And then,
Exactly.
diaper changing. So all the
Yeah.
fun stuff.
Yeah, it's good to set expectations from, I don't know, the time they're like a minute old. Let them know there's plenty
Exactly.
of heartbreak in front of you down the road. So, you
Yes.
know, take the good moments as they come and enjoy them, right?
Yeah, dad's yelling in the hospital, but it's not at you, it's at the screen. You gotta get used to this. This is going to happen a lot in your life, but just know I'm not mad at you.
Right, exactly. Well, speaking of abs, that's our podcast, right? That's the theme. How about
Yes.
yesterday? Some awards for Landeskog, Messier,
Yeah,
and Masterton Awards. I assume you saw that. Maybe if you were awake
I
um,
wa
and could pay attention. Did you see? You saw the interview? Maybe that was good stuff.
Yeah, some good stuff, and I was looking at the Messier, like, awards and who's won it in the past. Ovechkin won it last year, Kopitar won it, some pretty, like, heavy hitters. Nick Foligno,
Yeah,
Ta some pretty awesome people. So
yeah,
I think it's not surprising that, Landy, the 2 awards he won, like, I feel like really go together, and
yeah. They
just
do.
multiple times, I think in the past couple years, like, the team was playing fine, but you could tell they were just missing an extra gear or missing something, and I forget who I was talking to. I think I was talking to my wife about this, is that uh, Gabe Landeskog. I think he helps the whole team, but who he helps the most, I think, is Nate McKinnon.
Yeah, I think so.
I think there is like Nate is, I think, a great leader in the sense of keeping intensity, keeping focus, all of those things. But I think sometimes being the best player and having to lead the charge is a little bit exhausting and a little tiring. And when you
Mhm.
would just see Nate get out of sorts, and I think the best like thing that shows that is that Gabe would just bring a calming presence to the strength of the team.
Mhm.
The Nate McKinnon's the first line, and I think there was so many times we talked about how Gabe was kind of the fix it person for each line. If there was a line struggling, you would see Bednar move him into that line to jumpstart stuff.
Yeah.
And it just shows like so many times how Gabe benefited the team and benefited what they were doing um,
Yeah.
by subtraction, like just them being a little out of sorts. But
Mhm.
then when he came in, just immediately seeing the change and what he did for them, which was so great and so thankful Gabe's our captain.
Oh, I know. I tell you what, I for however many years he was out, 3, I was like, okay, let it go, leave it alone. He's not coming back. Boy,
Yep.
was I wrong. And I mean that leads into the Masterton Award, Perseverance and Dedication to Hockey Award. Um, I mean, talk about perseverance. I think a lot of people doubted him. I know I did, and boy, am I an idiot because that guy, that guy is something else. He's on another level. He's on another planet. Um, there's a lot of great leaders, a lot of great captains in the league, but there's nobody else I would rather have on the Avalanche than Landeskog as captain. Um, it was amazing. I saw some video of him or of the team during one of the playoff series. I'm not
Mhm.
exactly sure which one it was. Probably the Knights. And it was interesting. There was a video montage of players just at the end of their shift after a whistle, skating right over to Landeskog and just talking to him to get his feedback. And I think to the extent that people skated to McKinnon, if they did, which they may have when Landy was out for a while,
Yeah.
I think that's yet another thing that is not in McKinnon's wheelhouse is really doing that in-game coaching. So
Yeah.
as much as Landy, so it's great to see him get that recognition. And you did see the video of his interview, is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
When he's wearing his socks during the interview and he's like just hanging out and thinking
Just
it's
chilling.
nothing.
Yeah.
And then he ends up getting two awards. You think what was it? I think they were presenting the Messier to him, and
Mhm.
then they end up showing up with the other award as well. That was just so cool. What a guy! What a guy! I hope we win some more cups with him, but I also would. How incredible would it be if he ends up being in the front office or GM or whatever for the Avalanche in the future?
Yeah, I mean, he's just garnered so much respect from the Avs. I think I was reading an article a while back before, in the midst of the playoffs and stuff, and it was an article about when he first got like captaincy
Yep.
and like him going in early in the morning, talking with the team. But then that year, he got a concussion, and he was just explaining the pressures of being a captain and not playing. And like it was his, I think his first or second year. I think it was his first year. And he like is the youngest captain, all of those things, gets a concussion. And he's just talking about like all the pressure of, being the youngest captain and then not playing and
Yeah.
having a concussion where he's like, his leg thing, all of us are like, well, dude can't walk, like, stuff like that. But having like one that you really can't say like people can see when you're good, and just the resiliency even early, like in his career, of just leading by example, leading when it's difficult, leading in adversity, leading when things don't look right. And he's the young guy and a captain, and he like talks about it. I forget who he passed it off to,
Yeah.
but he like is doing one of his like team only meetings. He says he's nervous. He talks for like 2 minutes, and then I think he passes it off to like Hey Duke or something. I forget.
Right.
But he like says he just like does it so quick because he's like learning the game and then learning how to be a captain and then
Yeah.
later learning how to like lead while you're injured. And I remember in the clean slate like HBO thing how he wasn't with the team a lot,
Right.
like
I
in
know.
those things, and still having to find ways to like step in and encourage them, step in and do things. And he's just really persevered. Like, I mean, that's what the award's for, but he's
Yeah.
really shown it in different aspects of just coming in. And even when he finally could come back in, like regular season, like just showing how effective he could be, or when he wasn't effective, finding other ways to do things to help the team. And that's like, yeah, that's the
Yeah.
captain we definitely need. And
Mhm.
it'll be really interesting. Like, kind of what the message is next year
Yeah.
from our captain of what he will be pushing and how they'll be kind of approaching this next year. Because I think the last 2 years, house money has been Avs winning the Stanley Cup,
Yeah.
and
I think their
and
approach was spot on this past year. Hey,
yeah,
let's just go all out and be great. And they were. And then something bad happened. I don't know what it was.
yeah. But I think the one person that can get them lightning focused again next year with all the difficulty and all the disappointment is a Gabe Landeskog,
Yeah.
who has dealt with multiple years of disappointment and adversity and has come back and proved people wrong.
Yeah.
I I remember like when he was injured, I was like, he'll come back, but he'll be like a permanent third liner. Like they're gonna
Yeah.
stick him right there, and
Yeah.
you just keep him there.
He'll just be a locker room guy
Yeah,
and third, fourth line, whatever. And yeah, he proved
and
us all wrong.
yeah, and I think even during the Vegas series, I mean, picking at an old scab, I think he was one of the most effective people in that series.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I think in all the like dysfunction of what was happening with the Avs, like Gabe was being the captain and enduring the adversity and the hardship and saying like, "Hey, we can still do this." Unfortunately, like they didn't, but like he was the one that kept knocking on the door, like reminding them, trying to remind them who they were
Yeah.
and things like that. So I think these awards are well deserved, and I think they actually tie together very much so for Gabe Landeskog. So
Yeah, they really do. I wonder how often, I haven't looked, those two awards have gone to the same person in the same year, but I'll have to look into that a different
yeah,
time.
I quickly glanced and I didn't see a lot, like a ton of overlap, but like I said, it was a very, very quick
Yeah,
glance.
and that makes sense. I mean, Gabe's in a unique situation. He, you know, coming back uh, from being out and then also being a great leader. So, yeah, I tell you what, I was talking to a friend, and I think I was talking to my wife, and I was saying, a big part of sports is entertainment, but the biggest part of
Totally.
sports is entertainment. And I was like, you know what? The season wasn't a loss. The season was entertaining as heck.
Yeah.
It was months and months and months of excitement. Disappointed at the end, but it'll be interesting to see what the message is from Gabe and the others. I just don't think they didn't reach their ultimate goal, but you still can't say that the season was a failure. So many wins, so many highs, so many milestones reached throughout the regular season.
Totally.
So hopefully we can have another entertaining season next year. Maybe let's not win the President's Trophy. Cam and I were talking about that last week.
Hey, hey, I mean, you guys probably talked about this already, but I'm okay if history repeats. We get beat by Vegas and then come in laser focused the following year
Yeah,
and win a cup. I
yeah,
mean, I would have preferred they do, a back to back, but I'm okay if we get some history repeating itself.
yeah. I hear you. Um, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Next on our agenda, let's move to the next topic. There have been rumors floating around. We got Sakic as interim GM. I don't know if he's calling himself interim GM, but I think it's interim. And Cogliano reappears potentially in a GM role. I'll pitch it to you. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I just quickly going back, I love what you said that possibly having Gabe, up in another important role with the Avs. I think one thing the Avs do well, I feel like the NHL just in general really respects their like veteran players in a way. I think like other sports, they have a lot of assistant coaches and like greats will kind of get lost. I feel like respected long veteran players really get a lot of opportunities of like coaching, GM, like you see them a lot pop up. And I think like those last couple years of Cogliano like playing, like I just remember that fourth line
Oh, he was
with
amazing.
him, Darren Helm, and was it Sturm or O'Connor? I don't remember, but kind of that fourth line, very similar to this year, just
Yeah,
being so dependable and so just on about what they need to do, what their job is, staying within that and achieving that goal. And I remember there was a lot of like, hey, Cogliano's losing his step. Like Darren Helms, they're not the players they once were, but they were just so efficient and so effective. And they were a key piece in us winning that championship in 2022.
yeah,
And I just love that the Avs respect that and allow them to add to the organization in other aspects. Like they hired him on not too long ago doing some other things.
exactly. Yeah. So he's already with the org, right? So,
Yeah. So I think having that, even if they just, I don't know his official role now, but even if they did a really similar thing of what they did with McFarland and Sakic, where
yeah,
McFarland was around doing things
yeah,
and everybody was like, oh, he's like a lot of the brains in the back of that operation. And then they win and put McFarland up. Now, I have to be honest, when McFarland took over, there was a little pause because I thought Sakic did a great job,
well,
and
he did. I mean,
he I mean we were all we were all celebrating at the parade, so
he won the
did an
cup
awesome job.
under
Yeah,
him. So, yeah,
yeah, but I think McFarland did an awesome job after and adjusting, and I think one of his highlights, I think honestly, one of the things that won him that Predators job is what he did with our goaltending.
that was a
Everybody
master stroke.
celebrates that.
That was a master stroke. I thought what he did with um, moving the Moose and getting Natris in here was huge because there was no indication until afterwards that that the Moose was going to stick around or wanted to and was willing to take less. Um, Losing him for nothing, that would have been absolutely horrible. I thought that was an incredible move. I think Natchez is a great piece of the team. Vegas series notwithstanding, and hopefully he'll pick up where he left off next year. And so, yes, the goal is the number one move. We went from major question mark to deficiency at goaltender to best tandem in the
To
league.
winning an award. Like I think like this year we won the like what is it, the Jennings because of that. And I think that was a level of just being honest, saying, "Hey, this didn't work," and pivoting. I
Yeah,
think that is the worst thing to like having a huge ego in a GM is like the worst thing. If you can't admit your mistakes and pivot, like
yeah,
that's where
yeah.
you get in trouble. My only thing I would hope if, they as the rumors are going, if Cogliano kind of starts stepping into like where McFarland was and then taking over, I think my only thing that I kind of just go back and forth and question. I know we are in a win now kind of time. Very, and maybe this is a similarity with the Kroenke organizations. The Rams owned Kroenke owned, where they're like, "Hey, we don't need picks. Let's go get players. Let's keep doing this thing." I don't want to go NFL, but pushing their chips in and getting a star player like Miles Garrett, like that seems like it's kind of the Kroenke way,
Yeah, yeah,
and I'm all for like pushing win now, like we got to do whatever. I feel like there were times and that we were giving and waving around the first round picks a little bit for players that were important for us, but not the value of what a first round pick. I don't know. What is your thought on that, Dave? Would
Yeah.
you agree?
Yeah, I no, that's a great point. I hadn't really thought about it too much until now, but yes, um, being a little cavalier with draft picks, I mean, it could come back and bite us. At some point, you're going to run out of picks to deal, and at some
Exactly.
point, your players are going to get old enough that they're not going to be as highly coveted and highly sought after by other teams. So at some point, you're going to run out of that. So that's why the win now window, you need to do the winning now, right?
Yeah,
Which we
exactly.
almost did, but not quite. And so we'll see how that goes next year. But um, yeah,
Because
we are low on picks. I mean, at the end
I
of
don't think we have a first round pick
no,
for the next 3 years.
it's something like
As
that.
I think as
Crazy.
far as we're allowed to
Yeah.
give, I
And,
don't think we have.
and the only way to get him back is to deal players, right? I can't. There's no other way. You can't buy a first round
Exactly.
pick.
Well, and the thing is like I said, I think McFarland did an awesome job.
Yeah.
Him like being president in Nashville is well deserved and everything. I guess like for Cogliano, if he does get this, I feel like he's going to be in a tough position. Like, okay, let's say he maybe takes over next year, like not this upcoming season, but the following season. Like, I was looking, all our guys, all our star players will
Yeah.
be like in their 30s. Even Kale will be like 29, I think.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, like we just said, you can't buy first round picks, but I'm pretty sure there was a first round pick used for Nick Waugh, which is a middle to bottom 6 guy.
Yeah.
There was a first round pick for Kadri. And I'm not saying these players have, like I said, they're important to us and what they did like schematically, but star power or, overall skill, it was like, and like we gave up Cal Ritchie and a first for Brock Nelson. And I'm like, I'm not going back in like hindsight 2020 judging like trades and stuff, but it's like you said, you got to win now to win.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, Cogliano is going to have to, or Sakic, or both of them together are going to have to figure out ways with an aging roster.
Yeah.
I mean, very similar to McFarland. And Nashville's pretty aging. They got old all of a sudden because they went and grabbed old players.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
But
I tell you what, these it's going to be interesting. He's going to have to sort of chip around the edges. Whoever it is, Cogliano or whoever, he's going to have to chip around the edges. And then, is there a big move? Do we move on from Natchez? And what's his value really around the league anyway? We're not trading McCarr. And so what can he really do? I will say this about McFarland. He built a Stanley Cup winning team. They just failed to go out and win the damn cup.
yeah,
I mean, obviously along with Sakic, but he put the pieces in place. That team should have won the cup. They were the betting favorites, not because there was any sympathy, but because everybody could see, it was obvious to everybody they were the best team. Obviously, whatever reason, the credit to the Knights, somehow they beat them. But also something happened in that locker room. I don't know what, but they looked like a different team.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, okay, do you go next season? Sakic is probably, I mean, that one look, I forget what game it was. I think it was game 4 or game 3 when they show Joe Sakic and he's just like angry. And I have a feeling at that moment, like obviously Nashville had to get permission or something, but I have a feeling in that moment he knew he was going to have to like take GM, and he was thinking, okay, what are we going to do to fix this?
Yeah.
Because like you said, we were betting favorite, President's Trophy. Like, we had all the things that pointed, hey, we're going to win it all. We didn't. How do you adjust this team now?
Right. Yeah.
Like, do you strip it down and say, because here's the thing I've been hearing in my 3 a.m. awake looking through social medias is like everybody's saying, hey, schematically, how we run as a offense, and like we need to change that. Well, that requires a whole like teardown. And
Yeah.
like, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like,
I
and
I
then
personally wouldn't even agree with that.
yeah,
Let's now Cam and I talked at length as usual about the power play. That needs a tear down in a big, big, big way. Um, but it's a schematic tear down. It doesn't require different players. We have any number of players that can handle any power play scheme. What we've been doing sure as hell ain't working. So
yeah.
that's that's the biggest thing that needs to change. Now, do they bring in a new GM? Here's a weird one. Do they bring in Cagliano and say, find a coach, even this off season? And he says, you know what, Bednar, you're not it. I don't see any of that happening.
Yeah.
Um, I again, Cam, don't want to rehash too much. Cam and I were on the
No, I like the review. Thank you.
Cam and I are on the shocked that Bednar is coming back train. I thought he was definitely gone and think that he should be gone. Not because he's not a great coach, because I think he is. And I think whenever he leaves the Avs, he'll go be a great coach somewhere else.
Yeah, I'm gonna be
And
so bad about
but
it.
but a major change is needed in my mind. Is it easy to make a major change in your roster? No, it isn't. Is it easy to make a major change in your coach? Yes. Fire him, find another one.
Yeah.
Now it may not be better, but it's easy to make the change.
Well, I think like your discussion with Cam. Hey Cam, hope you're having a great day with your wife on her birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy
Um,
birthday, Cam's wife.
yeah. But I think context now kind of shows maybe why they weren't so quick on the trigger of Bednar. Because imagine like new GM, new coach, all of these things. It would feel like, wait, are they a losing team trying to switch direction?
Yeah,
Or are they a winning team trying to make adjustments? And I think Sakic with his president, hat on is like, hey, we got to keep the boat somewhat steady here.
yeah.
And I think you keep Bednar for that. But I don't know how similar it is to other like sports, but I know a lot of new GMs like to have their own coach.
Oh,
Now,
they do. They
but
definitely do.
now an in-house coach, like an in-house promotion, like a Cogs who is with Bednar, I don't know. Like Bednar and him won a cup together.
Yeah,
That changes relation, like those kind of things. But also, is he going to be kind of a shrewd operator? And maybe we need a little more shrewd operating because Vegas is one of the shrewdest. And
Vegas is doing all kinds of crazy crap, and it seems to be paying off.
yeah, so it's like maybe Cogliano's looking over and saying, talking with Sakic and saying maybe we need to do something a little different. My fear is that Bednar ends up in this kind of lame duck situation where the writing's on the wall that he's gone and he has to coach with that. And that just
Right.
messes up and wastes another year.
Yeah, I
So
go
I'm
back
like,
to,
if he's here,
yeah,
whoever's GM needs to push even more chips on the table to support him.
I tell you what, I go back to watching the New England Patriots operate over their dynasty years, and they unloaded so many players that you thought were at the top of their game, and they go somewhere else and fall apart.
Yep.
Um, it's a little bit different with a coach, but I think I think the right move was to let Bednar go. They didn't do it. I should probably shut up about it. I don't think it's going to happen, but I'm afraid next year is not going to go the way we want it, and they're going to do it. And I'm going to say that's a year late. Now I'm hoping we come back in a year and we say, Dave, yet another one of your predictions has been wrong. because they won the cup and we're going to a parade.
Yes, that's always my hope. I'm like, when it comes to sports, I love being the pessimist and being proven wrong.
Yes,
I'll
like
take
a
that
Landeskog for
anytime.
me. I'm like,
Yes.
I'm like, make it stop. I'm sick of hearing about Landeskog.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, talk about eating your words. But well, hopefully we'll say the same about Bednar. But I don't understand how just chipping around the edges in the offseason, bring in the fourth liner here or a sixth D man there, and keep everything else the same is going to end any differently. But
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, that even kind of leads into the next thing you we can talk about is like with Sakic being GM or maybe Cogs slips in there, like there's already the Avs are out. There's still the Stanley Cup Finals are going, but the rumors are swirling. We saw that Dylan Larkin requested a trade out of Detroit. That feels crazy.
That feels
Um,
that feels crazy, but when you look at, I think he's been to the playoffs once, maybe
I
his
think so.
rookie year, maybe.
Too long, too long
Um,
ago.
and so I'm not surprised. He's like, I'm tired, but you don't see your captain doing that every day for sure.
That's what's crazy. I think if he was like just another guy, but the fact that he has a C on and he's asking for a trade is crazy. But also, I think the NHL is starting to shift where I think I would have always considered the NHL the blue collar sport
Yeah.
where, they're like, hey, we're going to shut up and do our work. And not a lot of personality. I always said there wasn't enough like attitude and personality in the NHL.
Yeah, well, we can get to talking about Bettman sometime and my thoughts on him, but in any event, please continue.
No, I think that comes a little bit from him is like I think we're like I think the product's good. I think the players are a little too in line, a little too
Yeah,
clean where we don't get enough entertainment like you were talking about
yeah,
earlier.
we could use the NHL could use some drama and some
Yes.
maybe a diva here or there.
Exactly. And I think this is like a one step pivot that way where we're getting someone that's finally like, hey, I know I have the captain, the C, but I also want to like win. And the
Yeah,
Red Wings have like second half of the season, the past couple years have just choked.
yeah,
And
they looked good.
they
This
looked great and then like fell apart and
yeah.
the what is it, the Yzerman plan is starting to fall apart. But anyways, I don't want to talk about the Red Wings.
Right.
That's the one team we don't want to talk about on this podcast.
We definitely don't.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. Following on Larkin, he says, "I'll go to these three teams: the Wild, the Panthers, and the Knights." And some other players seem to be. I've seen other players sort of name maybe the same teams. I'm not seeing any. I'm not seeing people say I want to go to the Avs, and I wonder why that is. I would have when I saw the list from Larkin. I thoroughly expected the Avs to be on that list, and
Yeah.
I was way off base, and I must be out of touch with the league because it seems that players don't want to come here, and maybe it's because they think the roster's full. I don't know.
Maybe he's more Red Wing than we give him credit for, even though he's getting traded.
Okay, yeah.
But
There you go.
I mean, yeah, I think like, and maybe it's a little bit of what we were talking about that we don't have the chips or the leverage even to get him in our direction.
Yeah.
Like, like he would be a great 2C for us. He'd be but what, Brock Nelson, Ross Colton, and some like I don't know how that works.
No,
And maybe that's why.
I
And
don't
as
know
it
either.
is, he has a he has a no trade clause
Right.
or something. So those were the only teams he'd be willing to move.
Yeah,
The only thing I could think,
I wonder if Sakic gave a call over there. I don't know if the Red Wings and Evs talk
I don't know if
business
they'd
over.
answer,
Supposedly,
especially Joe Sakic.
well, Sakic and Eiserman, I think, have a good relationship. So, um, uh, um, yeah, I wonder if he would consider it if they made the call, but I don't know that they would make the call. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think just the biggest problem, I think he could fit, and I think he'd be great and all of those things. I just don't know if we have the stuff. I don't know the relationship.
Yeah,
Like, are they trying to get rid of him, move on, or are they like, oh, this is a big loss. We need like a ransom for this, and we just don't have a ransom.
right.
But I mean, looking at those other teams, like I know Florida, the no tax thing with the money is a big deal.
Yep.
And then I think, is it Minnesota and Vegas or the other two, right?
Yeah, Wild and Knights. Yeah.
Yeah. I think those are just Olympic buddies. Like,
Yeah.
there was 3 USA Olympic people from Minnesota, and then Eichel and just Jack Eichel, right?
Maybe I'm trying to think of
Yeah.
who else it might have been.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing, but I feel like those are the questions that our GM is going to have to figure out. Like, why wasn't the Avs one of the premier destinations? Like, I think Denver's a great city. I think our team is successful.
Yeah, the team has been successful for a long time. I mean, we had some down years, but by and
I
large, the vast majority of the history of the Avs is success. And even if there are down years, history shows that they're going to build back up and win a cup. And I'm sure
yeah,
that can happen again.
but yeah, I think it's the only thing I can think of is we don't have assets, and everyone knows that a Cale Makar contract is coming,
Yeah,
and that means there's less money for everyone else.
yeah. Of
Like the
course,
Brinks truck,
the cap is going up,
yeah,
as it always does. But I think it's going to go up enough to allow for Makar, and I think it's going to allow the team to continue to be successful money wise. Obviously, as we discussed, picks wise, draft picks wise, we're we're in a bad area there. But
but
yeah, what is it? Yeah, is it things outside of hockey or outside of on ice action? USA Hockey Buddies, income tax. I'm not sure
just
what might be a detractor from coming.
or does he just want to be a 1C and he just knows that that would never happen here? You know what I mean? As long as there's a Nate McKinnon, you're going to have to play second fiddle.
Well,
But I mean,
I'm thinking Makar would be the next captain, more likely McKinnon, I would guess. I don't know.
I mean, first line center. Sorry,
Oh yeah,
sorry.
yeah,
You
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like that he always knows player wise. He's
yeah.
always going to be kind of the next
Right.
guy down.
Well, he's shown in Detroit he can't have a successful run to the postseason as the number one guy. So maybe he looked in the mirror and said, maybe I'm not a number one guy
Yeah, who
and I
knows?
need to play a supporting role. And I think if that's the case, then good for him. I think he's probably right because it hasn't looked his record doesn't look great on paper in Detroit at all. And so if he came here, could he? Does he want to continue to be captain? I mean, I don't know how much longer Gabe's going to play. Another year
Yeah.
or two? What do you think? I don't know.
That I mean, it's so funny. Like just when you think, hey, they're done. We have a Brett Burns that is 41 years old and still playing. Like I could see Landy playing for a lot of time, and who knows, maybe these 3 years really refreshed his body.
Yeah.
And he's like, I feel a little slower, but I feel healthier. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
He's still out there laying hits. He could play. He could play
yeah,
third. He could do an Ovechkin kind of deal and just play bits and pieces here and there and still be the leader in the locker room.
yeah. So I think he's got a lot of time. I think agreeing with you, um, the only person right now that could get the C is Kale.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think Nate wouldn't even. I just have this weird feeling Nate wouldn't even want it.
Yeah.
Like he would.
I think he might like I think he would like the prestige. This is just a guess, but not the responsibility. And therefore, I think he's introspective enough to know that he's not the right guy for the
Yeah,
captain.
and I think he knows that he can get, like you said, he can get all the respect and accolades that he needs for his
Right.
career,
Yeah.
just having the A.
Exactly. I mean, one of the best players of this generation for sure.
Totally.
All time great. Nobody disputes that. He doesn't need any C on his chest to
Exactly.
to solidify that.
So yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, that's like the main one I've been seeing. I've been seeing a lot of stuff with Toronto because they have the first round pick.
Yeah.
But yeah, it gets really interesting because the Avs are gonna have to do something.
Yeah. You can't run it back as I'm not sure I think that term, but you can't run it back in my mind and expect
you can't run it back. You can't run it back after a sweep. After you get swept, you cannot run it. If they lost in 7 or 6,
yeah,
you say,
yeah,
exactly. Dang, they got us.
Yeah, and if there was just blood, sweat, and tears all over the ice for 7 games in the Western Conference Finals, yeah, definitely do it again and overcome. But
not after a sweep.
Not after a sweep.
No way. You got to look yourself in the mirror and say something has to change. And I mean, like, I think Brock Nelson was fantastic and did a lot of good things, even though the scoring didn't show up. But he was a 30-goal scorer and didn't score.
Yeah.
Like that's an
huge
issue.
Huge problem.
That's a big issue and needs to get fixed. And I don't know what has to go into that to give him more looks to feel confident to score. I don't know if it was a mental, like a funk. We still haven't heard injuries. So, I mean, injuries would change everything. But, like, a lot of people are injured. So
yeah, a lot of people are injured and still produce.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's like, I don't really care if you're scoring in the regular season. I care if you're scoring in the playoffs.
That's why, that's my point. Gets back to my point. I was like, let's not win the President's Trophy. You know what? You don't have to be great in the regular season, but you do have to be great in the postseason.
That's where that's where you get legacy. Like, regular season stuff is cool, like awesome. But if you're not like the top elite people that are getting, yearly in-season awards, you got to show up in the playoffs and really make a name for yourself if you're not the McKinnons or McDavids of the world.
Yeah. So I was talking last week. I would like to see the focus, if it was me, and it's a little bit of an odd position, I think. But if it was me, the GM or the coach, winning the President's Trophy would not be a primary goal. Winning the division would not be a primary goal. Working on being a superior power play team would be a huge goal for me, and that would be my number one focus for this team next year. Okay, you know what? We lose a few games, but we were 2 out of 3 on the power play. Okay, that was a successful game. I think my philosophy, or when I say this, it feels a little bit weird to say that, but look at these teams that are not winning their division. and moving on. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's something I
I'm
would like to see the team pivot away from focusing primarily on win any way you can to these are the things we're going to need in the playoffs. And there's a lot of smarter hockey people in the Avs organization than I am, but let's define some goals other than just wins so that
yeah,
we can do something different in the postseason.
yeah, I don't know if I'm still hurting from the loss, but I just keep looking at this puzzle of our team and how we lost, and I'm like, it really is perplexing to me because we were a fantastic 5-on-5 team. Like Nate
The
scored
best in the league.
because our power play sucked. Our Nate scored majority of his goals on 5-on-5.
They needed to axe the power play coach and bring in somebody new or bring in a AAA youth hockey coach. I don't care who it was. Bring in anybody. Bring in Cam. Cam has all of his ideas about power play. Um, that was a big miss, I think. Not making a move on redoing the power play in the regular season. Kedry came on and gave him a bump for a week. That didn't turn out to be much, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So who knows? Who knows what they'll do?
Yeah.
But they should have a one hell of a lineup to do something with. They have a roster full of stars and people that can be great, and hopefully they can be great next year.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. I think they probably need to find someone for that other side.
Yeah,
Um,
they do. Yeah, they do.
but the thing is, it's like I don't know. I feel wasteful, like moving on from like a Kadri, a Nick Waugh, who we gave a first round pick to, like a Brock Nelson, like those are people you gave first round picks for, and none of those guys. Kadri's on the first power play, but none of those guys were effective enough to stay on the first power play. There were multiple times they were all getting traded out and
Yes,
swapping out, and I'm like, uh, maybe the value of maybe I'm holding the value of a first round pick too high, but
I
I'm
don't
like,
think so.
if we're dumping first round picks, I want them like in multiple facets helping our team. Now, Brock Nelson and Val Nichushkin on the PK, fantastic.
Oh yeah, that's
But Kadri's not on the PK. And he was helpful. He gave us a little bump, but he wasn't like changing the game on our power play. So that first round pick, Nick Waugh, I don't remember him really on the PK. And he would pop in every once in a while on the power play one, but they would take him right out.
yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
like, okay, are we spending our first round picks effectively?
I don't think
Where
so. I think
yeah,
Kadri was a big miss for McFarland. A fan favorite. I was excited to get him back. Had heard that he was doing great. Didn't watch much Flames hockey,
no one
but
was.
had heard he was doing well. I'm not a big Flames guy over here, but had heard he was doing well, and I thought he really underperformed for us and did his value plummet in the
Exactly.
playoffs. And could we or would we move on from him? I see nothing in Kadri anymore. I think he's over the hill. Um,
Yeah, and then it's like, okay, well, those ones where you're like, it wasn't the worst trade, but it was not what we needed.
it wasn't
Who's
what we needed, and it wasn't worth a first round pick. Now it was a win now type of mindset,
yeah,
and I think the I think I think Kadri underperformed and let the team down, let the GM down. I just think he underperformed for us. I don't know. It seemed to never click except for maybe in that first week or two, right?
yeah, and it's like there's just been a few too many times in the McFarlane um regime where we did that. Like, I don't know if you remember Sean Walker. We
Yeah,
picked him up, and I'm pretty sure we gave a first round pick for him.
I hope
And
not.
he was, I'm pretty sure, a high pick, and he was only here for a year. And I think he walked. I don't even like. I think he was a rental, which rentals are super popular in the NHL. I get that, but he walked, and we gave around a first round pick, and he's playing for a cup right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, I think there was a lot of time with the Avs where we had to pay the win now price.
Yeah.
Like, you have to pay a little extra because they know. But also, I feel like while McFarland had some really smart trades, I feel like he overspent a few times. And now where we're in this kind of stalemate, it's like, okay, we don't have a ton of assets unless we start shipping off guys that we really like that are not quite there yet. You know what I mean? Like a Brindley or something, which I would hate to do that.
No, don't move on from Brindley, please.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But those are the players that we would have to get rid of to reload. And it's like, because we bought an aging Kadri and an aging Nelson, and it's like a mid to bottom six guy in Wall, which I actually would love if Wall stayed on the team for a very long time. I was very happy
like
with
Wall.
his production and how he kind of showed up as a third liner, but he's a third liner. And it's like, you're not going to put a third liner most of the time on your power play one. And it's like, our moves are not benefiting multiple areas. They're fixing one hole. And it's like, we need to change a little bit of that where it's beneficial to us in multiple aspects. Like Marty, I think Marty, like having him as a first liner and kind of step into the areas where Miko was, like you said, that was a great pivot from Miko in filling that hole. And I think him and Nate look great together.
Yeah,
now,
they do. Nate just would have been nice if he showed up a bit more, a lot more in the playoffs.
I know. I think we'll be living with this like what if for a long time. But I was like, man, a shot creator like a Mikko Rantanen would have been great in that Vegas series.
Yeah,
and it's the pill we take, because also Dallas now is in money trouble because they got to pay Robertson and they paid Mikko. So
unfortunately, I'm still a big Rantanen fan, always will be.
I named my dog after him.
He's hurt, and I don't know if will he come back and be able to be the same? I don't know. So, no, I'm not sure he's the same guy after his injury.
Yeah. So, I mean, it all has its cause and effects, but I know Jack Drury's in, like, I think he's restricted free agent, or he's an unrestricted. We got to get him. Like, we have the little pieces we have to fix where we're pretty good at, but also we have like big questions of like, hey, we didn't do it. We got swept. So we have to change big pieces or make a swing. And it's like, all right, let's see what you guys got.
I agree. Well, we have got a lot to ponder over the off season, and
we got time too.
Ponder we will do over the course of this week and subsequent weeks. Great to have you back, Eric.
Good to be back.
It's it's another episode of Eyes on Avs, and you know what? We talk some doom and gloom here, but I mentioned it earlier. We've got a lot of good problems to have also, with a lot of great talent. And when you have Sakic and when you have Kroenke involved at the top, you're going to be in good shape one way or the other. So, yeah.
We get to be spoiled a little and complain about,
we do.
Oh, why are we not at the Stanley Cup and only at the Western Conference Final?
Exactly.
We should tell that to the Canucks and the Blackhawks and see how they'd appreciate that conversation.
Yep, and the Red Wings.
Yep.
Well, I tell you what, it's been great talking to you. It's been great talking with the group online and that we'll watch on replay. I'll remind you to like, comment, subscribe, and follow Eyes on Avs, powered by EPS. We'll talk to you next week.
Later.
Later.